What's the right number of times for your public health officials to lie to you in such a way as could cost you your health or your life? Now, it's a rhetorical question. The answer is 0, right? So if I can persuade you that your officials have lied to you at least once, preferably several times, you should be able to use one of those and that piece of rhetoric to get people who you care about to wake up. I thought there was a virus and a terrifying pandemic in January 2020 because they told me so. By early March, I was watching the daily briefings, which were part of the brainwashing, really. Every evening we'd watch the same bunch of 3 criminals. And by the way, some of them are my former colleagues. So it's quite an interesting dynamic. I was watching people I used to work with lying to me. Sir Patrick Vallance, or Pat Vallance, is saying things I know he knows are not true. We share a common training. We have the same foundational courses in the same university system at the same time. We would have used the same textbooks. That's the way it works. I know that Vallance knows what I know about basic immunology, and I've never used anything but basic immunology in my critique. So when he said certain things, I knew he knew they were not true. I know enough about infectious diseases. I'm not a vaccinologist, but I have a good understanding of immunology. So I knew this was nonsense. You don't quarantine the healthy. I knew in a heartbeat we were in so much trouble because never before had the whole Western world done the same thing in lockstep. Over the next few weeks, all the countries I could find information at were imposing the same nonsense but damaging measures. Immediately, I said, this is proof of a supranational agreement. And they went, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. I said, okay, you give me any explanation, a benign explanation of why all these people are doing these things. They say, oh, it's they're reacting to a threat. I said, no, we all have well-honed pandemic preparedness plans. It's important people know that. It's not that this is a surprise. And so each country that's got, an advanced culture would have like a 40-page emergency response plan. It could be an earthquake or an invasion or a pandemic infectious disease. We had them. I've read about 6 of them. None of them mention anything other than when you're sick, stay home, wash your hands more often than usual until we understand transmission. That, folks, is it. That's what every country's pandemic preparedness plan in 2019 said. That was the WHO plan for influenza. I'll tell you what they specifically excluded: locking down the healthy, mass testing of those who with no symptoms, closing businesses, closing schools, border restrictions, distancing, masking, all of those things. So you will recognise all the things you've had to do are explicitly excluded. They're not just not in the plan, they're mentioned and explicitly excluded on the grounds that, 2 grounds. One, the evidence that they would do anything useful is skinny, between slim and non, and they're obviously enormously impactful in a negative way on people's business life, psychological health, spiritual health, and so on. And so as a result of that, I knew that everyone had just burnt their pandemic preparedness plans and leapt to do something else. These guys have lied and lied and lied. Things are not as they seem. I know it's frightening, you've got to wake up.